everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're finding me for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content right here on this channel. So I'm trying something a little bit new here on my channel, and instead of doing my normal reviews every week of some of the shows that are on Disney Plus and maybe some other shows that I might want to review later on, I'm thinking about trying to do reactions and reviews at the same time so you guys could watch the show along with me, and I'll edit the show a little bit so I don't get any trouble on YouTube, clearly. That way you guys can watch it with me, and I'll also review it a little bit after the show is over. So with that being said, let's get into Season 1, Episode 8 of The Bad Batch from Star Wars here, entitled Reunion. So let's watch that together, and I'll discuss a little bit more after the show. Title screen I get excited about, just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Every time I see this Star Wars stuff, it always just brings a smile to my face. Big Star Wars fan since I was a kid. Reunion. Well, I hope this episode gets a little bit more into the meat of the story. We're about halfway through the season now. I'd like to see it start ramping up.
Be apprised of all matters here, Prime Minister.
Got a little bit of a dark tone to start the show, doesn't it?
Send a scout team.
We'll need more than that. It's Clone Force 99.
I have no interest in a group of rogue clone deserters. If you find them on Braca, terminate them.
I love how they brought the Jedi Fallen Order planet Braca into this.
Disarm it.
Me? But I only watched you
10
once.
seconds till we're both goners.
Bruh!
The conductor feeds the...
Talk about trial under fire.
I don't know which way to cut next.
Better get it right. 3, 2, 1. Obviously not that one. Too late. Run for it.
Great job, Wrecker.
Gotcha. It's a smoke bomb. You think I let you train with a live explosive?
We've got eyes on us.
Yeah, I see him.
Nice.
Oh, no, you don't.
Wrecker's one of the funniest in the crew, just because he's a big meathead. Oh, nice shot. Might have stunned him, but I'm pretty sure they killed him.
Tech, what's the potential haul inside this cruiser?
My scans indicate the armory and artillery bay have not been fully offloaded.
Just a few of those weapons should clear our debt with Sid.
Sounds like a plan, Hoss. Because nothing can possibly be lurking in this dark room.
You're gonna like this.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Proton torpedoes.
I don't know if you should just be handling it like that.
Oh, sorry, kid. This one's all mine.
If we'd left with Rex, we wouldn't have to owe Sid at all. He's on a different path than us. We're soldiers. What other path is there?
I'm just intrigued about where they're going with these characters.
Why is this button blinking?
Hunter, we've got company.
I believe your crosshair buddy just showed up. Meanwhile,
The Empire's mission on Braca poses a threat to our contingency plan. I will have to call upon further assistance, as long as one of these bounty hunters deliver the young clone intact.
okay, so they're the ones who've hired some of the bounty hunters.
It's Crosshair, all right.
They're still on board. Take a shuttle and find their ship.
Yes, Commander.
This could be very, very bad. I'm always impressed with D. Bradley Baker's work here. All of the clones are voiced by the same man. Such a good voice actor.
Push the targets towards the hangar. We'll pin them down.
Roger that.
Clever.
We'll cut through the artillery deck.
Because that won't be dangerous. Remember that shot in Revenge of the Sith where those cannons were going off? It's a nice little exploration of that deck. That's cool.
There they are.
Uh-oh.
Tapping our comms to track our movements. So predictable.
Echo, scomp in and reroute reserve power to the cannons.
You're traitors.
Crosshair, wake up.
Not till that chip comes out. He ain't waking up.
The Kaminoans put chips in all the clones. You can't help it.
Aim for the kid.
Oh boy.
In 3, I suggest you drop your weapon.
What are the odds that works? After all this time. I mean, it's a good distraction. Nice shot, kid. Don't get cocky. He just chucked him like Uncle Phil would chuck out Jazz out the mansion door. Ah! This is giving me Rey vibes from Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker. Abandoned ships.
These chambers are quite the engineering marvel. This blast primer coating is capable of withstanding.
Cares. Keep moving.
Nerd.
Now what?
Avoid getting shot, that's what.
Try again, Hunter. I told you before, you're surrounded.
What is that?
Sounds like the engine's coming online.
Crosshair wouldn't do that. Would he?
Can we use the explosives from the armory to disable the engine?
If we place a series of charges around this cone, we may be able to break away from the cylinder while destabilizing the core.
Just remember, Omega, you chose to go with these guys.
Engage.
Everybody, get down.
Boom! That's what you get. It's only going to fuel Crosshair's anger, though.
Turn the engine off. Commander, can you hear me? We need a medic.
You've been knocked the hell out!
You got knocked the f out, man!
Do you copy? CT-8508. Report.
What happened to them?
This wasn't the scrapper's handiwork.
One much work.
No freaking way!
Omega, get behind me.
They brought Cad Bane back! Well, now we know that Boba Fett thing that never got animated fully was not considered canon.
I've taken down so many clones. Once you figure out one, the rest are easy.
He's a bounty hunter.
And you smart.
He's even got Tito with him.
You're in trouble now.
Who hired you?
That's confidential information.
She's not going anywhere.
That's unfortunate.
Voice is a little different, but... Oh, now we get that Western standoff just kind of like he had with Boba in the unfinished arc. It's almost exactly, actually. Please don't write Cad Bane off as soon as you bring him back. Okay, well, Tito got it. So did Hunter, for that matter.
Hunter!
Well, that did not go at all like I thought it would.
Sorry, little lady.
They want her alive. Well, this took a turn for the interesting.
Ground forces have them on the run.
Get me on the shuttle.
I told you he's gonna be mad. For once, a storm or a clone armor actually saves somebody. That's most impressive here. Usually that suit usually means nothing.
He took Omega, a bounty hunter. We have to find her.
Is that it? Ah, the silence. So for the longest time in this season, I've kind of felt like they've really not gotten into the deep part of the narrative here. Now we're halfway through season 1. We've gotten the first 8 episodes out of 16. So one of the things that this series has done so far in its very early, existence here is bring back characters that are from earlier episodes of the Clone Wars or future episodes of Rebels, and they've done that to kind of keep our interest until we get into the real meat of the story here in the first season. Obviously, we got young Caleb Doom, who will eventually become Kanan Jarrus in Star Wars Rebels. We got Trace and Rafa from the earlier episodes of the Clone Wars. We've now gotten Fennec Shand from The Mandalorian, voiced by the lovely Ming-Na Wen. And we've also gotten Captain Rex's return, and now we've got the return of a fan favorite here in Bounty Hunter Cad Bane, along with Tito from the Clone Wars. The hat was a little bit smaller, I noticed, and the voice was a little bit different, but I'm so excited to see Cad Bane back, and we know now that he is still alive in Star Wars canon. So much like Boba Fett before, who we thought was dead, Cad Bane, for those of you who don't know the history of this whole thing here, Clone Wars got canceled around the time I think Disney bought out Lucasfilm. And there was an unfinished Clone Wars story arc with Cad Bane went nose to nose in an old Western shootout, much like in this episode with Cad Bane and Hunter, where Cad Bane and Boba Fett shot at the same time. Boba Fett hit Cad Bane, and we thought that Cad Bane was dead, basically. And Boba Fett got shot in the head, which gives Boba Fett that iconic dent in his helmet. So I don't know if that unfinished story arc is considered canon now, because I think the assumption was Cad Bane was killed by Boba Fett in that unfinished arc. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe he survived, much like Hunter survived here. And it may still be considered canon because that does still explain how Boba Fett got the dent in his helmet. But we never got to see what happened with Cad Bane. He was one of the characters in Star Wars, The Clone Wars, that never got a proper ending. And obviously bounty hunters in the Star Wars universe sometimes don't get proper story arcs and endings all the time anyway. But of course, it really makes me think about the Book of Boba Fett this December, because there's been rumors of bounty hunters showing up in that series due to the fact that Boba Fett is a bounty hunter. And of course, now that he is, the king of Jabba's palace, or possibly the underworld on Tatooine for that matter, then there's rumors of the bounty hunter Bosk making a return, the Trandoshan himself. We could be getting IG-88, and who's to say now we don't get Cad Bane in the Book of Boba Fett? There is a history there between Cad Bane and Boba Fett, at least in some of the unfinished arcs. I don't know, and the rumor right now is that the Book of Boba Fett could explore some flashback stuff that maybe shows some things about Boba Fett's life that we haven't explored yet. So could we possibly get the story arc between Cad Bane and Boba Fett, kind of where Cad Bane took Boba Fett under his wing? Could we possibly be getting that in live action form? That could be great. That's one of my biggest concerns with the Clone Wars being canceled, when it was that we didn't get a lot of story arcs tied up, and all those loose ends that were left from the cancellation, it never got fully fleshed out, and some of our characters were just left up in the air. Like one of which was when Hondo Ohnaka had Boba Fett's Slave 1 the last time we saw it in the Clone Wars, and of course Boba Fett has it back by the time we see him again in The Empire Strikes Back with the Slave 1 ship. So there's certain things that have not been fully fleshed out. Could we be getting Hondo in this series? We've seen him in Rebels. Could he show up in the Book of Boba Fett or The Mandalorian? We don't know. But the cool thing here is that the thing I love about what Star Wars does is they will take these characters that have not always gotten the proper conclusion, and they'll bring him in these unexpected ways. And Cad Bane being in this series is going to be outstanding. Now, obviously, he's got Omega, and it sounded like from the beginning of this episode that the Kaminoans are the ones who put the bounty out on her to get her back, because they've created her for a specific purpose. And we've yet to know what that purpose is. All we know is that the Kaminoans are not happy about the fact that the Empire has backed out on their deal to purchase clones and to keep their business running on Kamino. So I don't know where this is going by the end of this season, but it seems like we're slowly, this is the first episode in a few weeks where I feel like we're very slowly, I mean, all season, they're doing this thing like The Mandalorian where, like I've said in other videos on reviews on this, where the episodes, it looks like maybe they're filler at the time, but when you go back and look at them, like Fennec Shand was out to get Omega. She was one of the bounty hunters hired. Now we've got Cad Bane, and obviously there's a narrative purpose as to why they want Omega. So whoever has hired these bounty hunters, that is. So they're building and building and building, and we're halfway through the season now. I'm starting to see where this story is starting to take shape. So, and that's what I really want to see here. By season's end, I think this story is going to have a lot of merit to it. I think it's going to be very fun to see where they go with this. But anyway, I actually like this episode. Cad Bane made this episode for me. Before that, it was just kind of like Crosshair trying to, catch up with the Bad Batch and, take them out, so to speak. And obviously, now Crosshair looks like he's going to be a little bit more scarred. And how many times have we seen people who have gone to the dark side and have gotten deformities in their face, or they've lost an arm or something like that? Granted, he's not a Force user, but he's still on the bad side of things. So it kind of fits that Star Wars motif a little bit. So I'm interested to see where they go. Obviously, this is going to only fuel his rage toward his fellow Bad Batch members here. They've got to get that chip out of his head. That's the biggest primary goal of the Bad Batch when it comes to Crosshair here. But we'll see what they do. So I'm definitely intrigued a little bit more now than I was a few weeks ago. So I can't wait to see where they go next week. And Cad Bane is back, everybody. So is Tito. So I'm glad to see that they're bringing in some Clone Wars characters who didn't get their story arcs completed. I'd still like to see characters like Asajj Ventress maybe get her novel animated and, you know, get that completed. That way we get her story arc completed as it should have been. And same way with the Darth Maul comic that got made, where we got to see the final fate of Mother Talzin in that comic book as well. I'd like to see all those fleshed out and reanimated and completed as the way they were intended. That way we could go back and see those. But if we're not going to get some of those, at least we're going to get some explanation about some characters we didn't know the ending of, like Cad Bane. So let's see where they go. But I love this episode for that alone. But comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 1, Episode 8, entitled Reunion. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content right here on this channel. And until my next video, guys, take care.
We about to turn it on.